Let's be honest, divorce is incredibly tough. And one of the hardest parts? Figuring out how to divide everything you've built together. It's an emotional minefield, but it absolutely requires a clear, objective starting point. So today, we're going to look at the one tool that's designed to provide exactly that.
I mean, really think about that for a second. How do you split a family home or any other big asset you share? You can't just throw a number out there based on a gut feeling or what you think it's worth. No, you need a real, solid number that both sides can trust.
And that's really where this whole process begins. To move on, to go from being shared owners to having separate futures, the very first step is to agree on what that shared property is actually worth. And there is a specific legal tool designed for exactly this. And here it is, the divorce appraisal. Now, this is not just any old valuation. It's an independent look at a property's fair market value. Basically, what it would likely sell for today. But the key thing, the whole reason it exists, is specifically to help divide assets during a divorce.
So what makes one of these things legit? Well, first off, it has to be done by a licensed pro. You can't just have your buddy do it. And here's something really important. It establishes the value on a specific legally important date, like the day you separated, not just whenever the appraisal happens. And it all wraps up in a formal written report that's built to hold up in negotiations, mediation, or even in a courtroom.
Now, when we talk about this, most of us immediately think of the family home, right? But this same idea can apply to a whole bunch of different assets. We're talking rental properties, land, cars, maybe valuable art or jewelry, and even an interest in a business. Anything of significant value can be appraised to make sure the division is truly fair.
Okay, so we've got the what. Now, let's get to the why. Why is this so incredibly important? Well, it really gets to the core of the issue. You can't have fairness without objectivity. You need a number that isn't based on emotion or opinion.
And it's not just a good idea. The entire legal system depends on these reports. Courts are trying to achieve what's called an equitable distribution. That just means a division that's fair, which might not always be a perfect 50-50 split. The appraisal is the hard evidence they use to figure out what's fair.
So you could almost think of the appraisal as a conflict prevention tool. Seriously. By giving everyone one single objective number to work from, it just cuts through all the potential arguments about value. It takes the guesswork and the emotion right out of the equation.
So you might be wondering, how do they even come up with this number? It's not just a guess. The whole process is actually very methodical and structured, right from the moment the appraiser steps onto the property. It all starts with a super detailed inspection. They look at everything, inside, outside, the condition of the place, any special features. Then comes the detective work, the market analysis. They dig into recent sales of similar homes in the area to see what the market is actually doing. And finally, all of that research gets bundled into a really detailed report that doesn't just give you a number, it shows you the receipts. It explains exactly how they arrived at that value. Okay, this next point is a huge one, and it's where a lot of people get tripped up. You might think, hey, an appraisal's an appraisal, right? But the one you get when you're buying a house for a mortgage is totally different from the one you need for a divorce. It all comes down to one simple question. Who is the appraisal for? A regular mortgage appraisal is for the bank. They just want to make sure the house is worth the loan they're giving you. But a divorce appraisal? That's for the court and for the two people involved. The standard is so much higher because its entire purpose is to be objective and defensible in a legal setting. The stakes are just completely different. So if you take away one thing from all this, let it be this. A divorce appraisal isn't just about getting a price tag for a house. It is a specialized tool. It's designed to bring legal clarity and, most importantly, fairness into a really difficult situation. It makes sure that the final decisions are based on solid facts, not on feelings. So I'll leave you with a question to think about. In the middle of a really tense negotiation, what is it that turns a simple number from just an opinion into an undeniable fact? Well, as we've seen, it's having an objective, professional process that stands up to scrutiny and rises above all the emotion.